Mrs. Chow heaved a sigh. "Look," she said, "whether there be still among them any pieces good for anything. But anything that's worth anything doesn't find its way in here. If you don't despise what's worthless, you're at liberty to select any two pieces and to take them away and have done." The Taoist matron Ma chose with alacrity several pieces and shoved them in her breast. "The other day," Mrs. Chow went on to inquire, "I sent a servant over with 500 cash. Have you presented any offerings before the god of medicine or not?" "I've offered them long ago for you," the Taoist matron Ma rejoined. "Oh, me tofu," ejaculated Mrs. Chow with a sigh. "Were I a little better off, I'd also come often and offer gifts. But though my will be boundless, my means are insufficient." "Don't trouble your mind on this score," suggested Ma, the Taoist matron. "By and by, when Mr. Huan has grown up into a man and obtained some official post or other, will there be then any fear of your not being able to afford such offerings as you might like to make?" At these words, Mrs. Chow gave a smile. "Enough, enough," she cried. "Don't again refer to such contingencies. The present is a fair criterion, for up to whom in this house can my son and I come? Pao Yu is still a mere child, but he is such that he wins people's love. Those big people may be partial to him and love him a good deal. I've nothing to say to it, but I can't eat humble pie to this sort of mistress." While uttering this remark, she stretched out her two fingers. Ma, the Taoist matron, understood the meaning she desired to convey. "It's your lady's secunda lien, eh?" she forthwith asked. Mrs. Chow was filled with trepidation. Hastily waving her hand, she got to her feet, raised the portiere, and peeped outside. Perceiving that there was no one about, at length she retraced her footsteps. "Dreadful, dreadful. But speaking of this sort of mistress, I'm not so much as a human being if she doesn't manage to shift over into her mother's home the whole of this estate." "Need you tell me this?" Ma, the Taoist matron, at these words remarked, with a view to ascertain what she implied. "Haven't I, forsooth, discovered it all for myself? Yet it's fortunate that you don't trouble your minds about her, for it's far better that you should let her have her own way." "My dear woman, not let her have her own way? Why, is it likely that anyone would have the courage to tell her anything?" "I don't mean to utter any words that may bring upon me retribution," added Ma, the Taoist matron, "but you people haven't got the wits. But it's no matter of surprise. Yet if you daren't openly do anything, why, you could stealthily have devised a plan, and do you still tarry up to this day?" Mrs. Chow realized that there lurked something in her insinuation, and she felt an inward secret joy. "What plan could I stealthily devise? I've got the will right enough, but I'm not a person gifted with this sort of gumption. So were you to impart me some way or another, I'd reward you most liberally." When the Taoist matron Ma heard this, she drew near to her. "Oh, me tofu, desist at once from asking me," she designedly exclaimed. "How can I know anything about such matters, contrary as they are to what is right? There you are again. You're one ever most ready to succor those in distress and to help those in danger. And is it likely that you will quietly look on while someone comes and compasses my death as well as that of my son? Are you, pray, fearful lest I shouldn't give you any reward?" The Taoist matron Ma greeted this remark with a smile. "You're right enough in what you say of my being unable to bear the sight of yourself and son receiving insult from a third party, but as for your mention of rewards, why, what's there of yours that I still covet?" This answer slightly reassured Mrs. Chow's mind. How is it that an intelligent person like you has become so dense? If indeed the spell prove efficacious, and we exterminate them both, is there any apprehension that this family estate won't be ours? And when that time comes, won't you get all you may wish? At this disclosure, Ma, the Taoist matron, lowered her head for a long time. When everything shall be settled satisfactorily, and when there will be, what's more, no proof at all, will you still pay any heed to me? What's there hard about this? Remarked Mrs. Chow. I've saved several taels from my own pin money, and have besides a good number of clothes and head ornaments. So you can first take several of these away with you, and I'll also write an IOU and entrust it to you, and when that time comes, I'll pay you in full. That will do, answered Ma. Mrs. Chow thereupon dismissed even a young servant girl who happened to be in the room, and hastily opening a trunk, she produced several articles of clothing and jewelry, as well as a few odd pieces of silver from her own pocket money. Then, also writing a promissory note of 50 taels, she surrendered the lot to Ma, the Taoist matron. She said, "Take these in advance for presents in your temple."